Okay. Do this.
Television, I had every kind of machine possible. That's why
We're about to start. There's someone else on Zoom, but I don't see anyone on. No one yet. Yeah, just.
What? And the television commercial goes through.
Okay.
What?
So this is the siyum on Maseches Gittin. Maseches Gittin is 90 daf and 3 months, right? So Jeff is gonna honor us with finishing the last piece. He just teaches the last piece, and then we'll say the Hadran and the Kaddish, and then we'll leave.
Okay, so before I finish off the last piece, I learned something today that I'll share with you a little drush on the Masechta. Make sure you're in the camera. It's filming you.
Yeah, sit down.
So in a sikha of Kitzeitze, the Rebbe mentions Gittin, and he asks, well, how can, as we learned in Gittin, in order to be a valid get, the get has to be given into the domain of the wife. So in the relationship between us and Hashem, we're the wife, Hashem is the husband. How can he divorce us? Because all the world, everything is his domain. So we don't have any private domain. So how could there be a divorce in that level? So the answer is, it seems that we're in different areas because of our Averas, we're separate from Hashem. We feel separated from him, and he feels separate from us in Gullus, but the truth is we're not really separate. And the idea being that we can't really be divorced, and then that's why it goes right into Kedushin. After get it goes right into Kedushin, so we can sanctify our relationship with Hashem. That's the idea. So now, to finish off the last piece here, there's a discussion of what are the reasons you can divorce your wife, and there's different, they go back and forth, Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel, Rabbi Yehuda, different reasons. It finishes off, it says, to finish off the Mishnah, the dispute is, Kisane Shalach, for the despised send away. The sages debate the meaning of this verse. Rabbi Yehuda says, Im Sanesa Shalach. If you despise her, send her away. Rabbi Yochanan Omer, Shanoa Shalach. Despised by God is one who sends away his wife without a compelling reason. The Gemara comments, Velo Plige. These two interpretations. It's not a conflict. It seems like a conflict, but it isn't. Habezo Rishon, the interpretation of Rabbi Yochanan, concerns a first marriage. Habezo Sheni, while that interpretation of Rabbi Yehuda concerns a second marriage or a subsequent marriage. The Gemara reinforces the notion that divorcing one's first wife has tragic implications. Damar Rabbi Eliezer says, Kol hamagirosh ishto rishona. Whenever anyone divorces his first wife, afilu mizbeach morid alav demod, Even the temple altar sheds tears on his account. Mars is stated, "V'zos shenis tasu," and this further you do. Kasos dima es mizbeach Hashem, mizbeach Hashem. You cause the altar of God to be covered with tears. V'naka, with weeping and with sighing, me'ein od panos el hamincha, so that he no longer turns to the offering. V'lakachas ritzon miedchem, or receives it with goodwill from your hand. Amartem alma, and you ask why? Al ki Hashem me'id beinecha uvein eshes yurecha, because God has borne witness between you and the wife of your youth, Asher ata begadta ba, that you have betrayed her. He havarta averta eshes britecha, though she is your companion and the wife of your covenant. So it talks about the seriousness of divorcing your first wife. That's something we don't want to do. Hadran alav amigresh, uslilka alav Maseches Gittin. Stand up, please. Hadran alav Maseches Gittin, hadran alav. Datan alav Maseches Gittin, v'data alav. Lam nitshe minach Maseches Gittin below. Teach Mishay Manan Lab Alma Adain below Alma Date. Yiratzom Fanecha Nile Hinvel. This time. Adran Allah Maseches Gittin, Adran Allah. Datan Allah Maseches Gittin, Adat Allah. Lo no Nit Nashay Mina Maseches Gittin below Nit Nashay Minan La Alma Adain below Alma Date. Hadran Allah Maseches Gittin, Hadran Allah, Data Allah Maseches Gittin, Data Allah. Allah Nit Shay Mina Maseches Gittin below Nit Shay Mina. La Ba'alma Adain below Ba'alma Data. Yiratzom Fanecha Nailain Belev Senu Shetei Toratecha Unasenu Ba'alam Hazeh Uftei Imanu L'Olam Haba. Nina Bar Papa, Ravi Bar Papa, and Nachman Bar Papa, Ayi Bar Papa, Abba Mari Bar Papa, Rafram Bar Papa, Rafish Bar Papa, Surha Bar Papa, Rada Bar Papa, Naru Bar Papa. Erev Nai Lahinu Esti Bretor Techa, Ninu, Umifios, Amecha Beis Yisrael, Niye, Kulanu, Nachnu, Tzetenu, Tzetzea, Tzetzenu, Amecha Beis Yisrael, Kulanu Yodeach, Shemecha V'lamdei, Tortecha Lishma, De'ave, Tachach Menu, Bisvosecha, Kili Olam Li, Libin Kamim B'chutecha, Aman Lo Evosh, L'Lom Lo Eshka B'chudecha, Kibam Hayitanu, Baruch Atah, Anai, Amdenu V'kecha, Amen, 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 Sal V'ayat. Modim אנחנו לפניך נאיל הנה ולהל ותנו ששמת הלכנו וישושב בית המדרש ולא שמת הלכנו יושבי קרנו שאנו משכימים בכם משכימי אנו משכימים ודברי תורה בכם משכימים לדברים בטל אנו עמלים והם עמלים אנו עמלים ומרצים Sachar became Amelim, Benim, Benam, Kablin, Sachar, Anu Ritzon, Behem Ritzim, Aye, Olam Abba, Behem Ritzim, Livnei Shachas, Shnemar Viata Elohim, Toridem, Livner Shachas, Anshe, Damim, Urmir Malo, Yatzlu, Yemechem, Ani Evtach Ba. Yiratzom Lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu B'Shem She'azrei Tani L'Sayim Maseches Gittin Kain Ta'azreini L'Chatzkil Masekos L'Safarim Aherim L'Saimam Limod L'Amid Lishmor L'Asos L'Kayim Eskol Divrei Talmud Toratecha B'Yachad L'Zchut Kol Naim והאמוראים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לי ולזרי שלא תמוש התורה מפי זרי וזרי עד עולם ותתקיים בי ותתחלקך בנka עושה וסבך תשמור עליך הקיצוצה היא תשיחך כי בי ירבו ימיך יוסיפו לך שנות חיים אורך ימים וימינה יסבולה אושר וכבוד אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן ויברך בסופו בשלום יסקדה ויסקדה שמרבות
Yitzi's not here, so we give you children.
Okay, tomorrow 5:30.
We're not learning.
No, but stay with the stuff that I have to go.
That was private talk. You just want to talk something private. You didn't even stay with.
I meant stay. We'll celebrate a little bit. A little bit.
Oh,
No?
yeah.
Go take.
I'm waiting for the timer. I took one picture for Yitzi. He's not going to take pictures, he's not trophies. So how can we go to California? Maybe when he comes back from California, we'll bring a trophy. You know, like one of those big concerts.
I think, but instead of giving us trophies, we should get stars on the sidewalk. No? On Hollywood
Yeah,
Boulevard.
Hollywood, yeah.
We get stars on the sidewalk.
Yeah, the stars that people walk on, shoot gum on, spit on the floor.
Yitzi on there? Is Yitzi watching? The white shirt did it.
Yeah.
I only said it because everybody else had a white shirt but you. What's the odds?
Oh, that's right. Thanks.
like I remember.
What's the nekuda there? Right, is that Hashem doesn't like it if you divorce someone for no reason? Is that
So, just to discuss this Masechta a little bit. Can't take the whole Masechta, but definitely this Masechta is clearly a very gullus type of Masechta. Starts off with someone bringing a get from Medina Siyum, from overseas, and the question, it's sort of like in the middle of, starts in the middle of a discussion, because it didn't even tell me what a divorce is. It didn't tell me they're allowed to do a divorce. It starts off with someone bringing a divorce from overseas. So some sefer says, well, a divorce is a negative thing. So, but if the husband is already gone, then he sends a divorce, then it's a positive thing. He wants to start on a positive note. The husband already disappeared, he's not around. And so he's sending the divorce from overseas. But Jeff's answer, what you were saying from the Rebbe, is that really it's referring to the distance between us and Hashem. And since Hashem is everywhere, so he doesn't really, can never really be divorced. So it's saying that it seems to be a distance, it seems to be overseas, it seems to be. Anyway, if you go through this Masechta, you'll notice that Yisrael was talking about this. Everything in here seems like negative. You even have the Churban in here. At the beginning of the Masechta, you have the Pelegish Begifa, well, they wipe out the Binyamin because of that story. It has a little bit about, but it has a lot about the slave, freeing the slave, the document called the Get Shicher. The only positive thing in here was maybe the prusbal. But even that is a prusbal, when the loan that it shouldn't. But even that could be because there's a poor person that needs the loan. Everything in here seems negative. At the end, you have all the illnesses. We have the remedies for the illnesses, but it's they're illnesses, right? In the last section, the very last page, discussing the grounds for divorce. This last piece of Gemara, it said that there's different types of attitudes towards food. There's different types of attitudes towards women. So that piece says, it's just like if a person has a fly that falls into his cup. Some people will throw out the fly and drink the cup. It says that's a regular way. A person allows his wife to talk with the neighbors. What is that referring to? Who's the fly? I think the fly is like negative behavior. But he's saying you just get rid of the negative behavior and you keep the wife. Then there's maybe Hillel is saying Yetzirah Daimel Lezvav. He's quoting the Gemara. The fly, the Yetzirah is compared to a fly. Maybe that's what it's referring to. Then it quotes over here about Papas Ben Yehuda, that if there's a fly, he throws out the whole food. He would lock his wife up. Now the interesting thing is, who mentioned this? I think Hillel mentioned this in the Shir, that Papas Ben Yehuda, he was the one that, did you mention this? He was the one that sees Rabbi Akiva and tells him, why are you teaching Torah? You're going to get arrested. And Rabbi Akiva doesn't stop. When he ends up in prison, guess who's there? Papa Ben Yehuda. And Papa Ben Yehuda says, oh, how lucky are you, Rabbi Akiva, that you ended up in prison for teaching Torah. I ended up for other things. And did you tell us? You mentioned, I think you mentioned, Hill mentioned that it's so interesting that Papa Ben Yehuda ends up in prison when his wife, he kept his wife in prison. He locks up his wife, he ends up in prison. Is that what you said? You said it, or you alluded to that. It made me think that.
Period, right?
Oh, it doesn't say his wife was Miriam?
His wife, didn't he give birth to Yoshua?
No.
Yeah.
The one who locked up his wife?
Is that what it said?
That's
That's
what
what
I
I
heard
thought,
in the
that's what I
shir.
heard.
I didn't say that.
No,
you didn't.
but I heard it in another shir.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
His name was Yochanan.
Said
John.
The one that, there was two types of husbands. The one that
Right.
locked up his wife and wouldn't let her out. In the end, she was Mizana, gave birth to I'm just telling you, I heard in another shir.
I didn't know that. Okay. The other one.
There's another thing. They talk about Yafka here. Chronologically, there's no proof that Yafka is. If there's a Yafka, it's the same story of Bethlehem that they used to plagiarize 70 years after the Egyptians to create their religion. And it wasn't a Yafka that they're talking about here.
That could be.
Oh,
That could be.
The myth that they created came from the other story.
The theory,
300 years before.
there is a theory that's presented that they think that Yashka was from one of the students in the yeshiva, that he was actually a student in the Shammai yeshiva. That's a theory that these scholars present. Now that would fit with this Gemara, because Beis Shammai holds that a person is not allowed to divorce his wife unless he has very special reason. No, it won't fit, because they according to their religion, at least the Catholics, they don't agree with divorce at all. Right? There's no divorce at all. It doesn't matter what you did.
Didn't exist.
I understand. I'm just saying that you would have taken that. Beis Hillel says a person can divorce his wife for whatever reason. Rabbi Akiva says, I'm sorry?
English Catholic.
They are allowed? Uh-huh. I forget, someone was just telling me that they had their eighth son. They named him Henry.
I got a good joke if you want. Okay. Has to do with Maseches Gittin. Can I tell a joke?
Yeah, let me just finish this.
Okay.
So, and then the last person is that the wife, he actually will take the fly, he'll suck out the whatever good is in it, and then he'll eat the food as well. Referring to the person that his wife, he lets her go and bathe together with men, or not bathe with men, or bathe with a place where men will men bathe. Okay, so and it concludes with what Jeff said about that the Mizbeach cries. It compares it to the wife, to the young wife, which is actually the Haftarah talks about Eishes Neurim Kisimas, that the wife of your youth you don't despise. Referring to our relationship with Hashem, that we were actually the wife of the youth, with the young wife that Hashem keeps us. That fits with exactly with this Gemara. Okay, yeah, go ahead. The joke. Yeah.
Be careful. I got to take one. I don't know if I want to take.
Okay, we'll
Okay, so off the record. Yeah. Young couple gets married, and they're married for several years, but not having any children. So they come across a very holy Kabbalist, and they ask him,